So for my final project, I decided to focus on chapter 11, the internet and social media, particularly on social media because it's the first thing I use when I wake up and it's the last thing I use before I go to bed. So for me, there were really three big points about social media in this chapter. The first is that social media is a double-edged sword when it comes to online privacy. On the one hand, you have all these new unprecedented ways to keep in touch with friends, but on the other hand, these ways are kind of rapidly shrinking online privacy for everyone. So when you're sharing your location on Snapchat, your pictures on Instagram, your TikTok contacts, all of that, this excessive sharing is lowering the reasonable standard of privacy for everyone, even if it is just a few users doing this. And this resonates with me when I think about my Instagram feed. I always see ads for things I was just talking about or that I just looked up on Safari. It's kind of convenient, but it's also really, really scary. So, where users were allowing these apps to track our activity, maybe even use our microphones, just a few users allowing that to happen is preventing protection from data mining for everyone. You can no longer expect to be protected from this. The second point I think for this chapter is that social media has and will continue to challenge traditional media distribution. With social media, the speed of information, the volume of information, and the democratization of who can publish have all been augmented. So now everyone has access to tons of information from anyone in the world instantly, real time. When something happens, you can know about it right away. It's kind of cutting out that middleman of news. And it's also pulling in a lot more people into the news gathering process. And I think we're slowly drifting back to a word of mouth method. So this resonates with me when I think about how I get my own news every day. Most of it is coming from what I see on Instagram stories. I think about like the Alabama abortion laws, the 2020 elections. Everything I knew about that really did come from Instagram. Um, just last week, I heard about Alex Caruso, an NBA player, being arrested because of marijuana possession. I probably would have had no idea if it wasn't for Instagram because people I followed cared about that. They posted about it. And then I think the third point about social media is that paradoxically, while social media is definitely increasing the amount of information we can access, it's simultaneously limiting the exposure to this information. Users are only going to see information that they're interested in and opinions that they agree with. And this can really reinforce a lack of understanding for opposite sides of the spectrum and just increase polarization, which can make compromise super difficult in the future. And this resonates with me when I think about my TikTok For You page around the 2020 elections and the storming of the Capitol. I liked one video that kind of broke down how I felt. And after that, I only saw videos that I agreed with or that built upon my own opinion. I never saw a video that went against my own opinion. That's honestly how I think TikTok succeeds. You never come away unhappy from that app because you only see things that you like. It's addicting, it's kind of cool, but also I think it's just going to polarize my generation further. So all this begs the question, is social media good or is it evil? I would say it's neither. It's a tool. The question of good versus evil should really be focused on humanity itself because humans are the ones behind the screens doing the clicking, gathering the information, all of that. So that said, in 50 years, I think social media will be just as commonplace in our lives as a radio is in a car. I think it will continue to metaphorically shrink the globe as commerce, education, social networking all converge on these sites. I also think online privacy will kind of be thrown away. It'll just be given up completely. And I think social media will become so evident in our lives that it kind of resembles a type of social currency.